Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick. And coach, the Tigers, with their first conference game of the year, it was on the road up in Rhode Island to take on Bryant. And the Tigers come away with a 2-point victory in a game that was, reminiscent to the week before, except you ended up on the winning edge, which is where you had a lead in the fourth quarter that kind of shrunk.
Yeah. Thought we had a couple opportunities there offensively to put them away, and we didn't. We ended up kicking field goals. Great that we have a great field goal kicker in Caden Williams who can make it really kind of from anywhere. I think we were, long was 45, closest was, 30, something like that. But really for our guys, I think to be in that situation and come away with a win, I thought the 2-point stop obviously was huge. I think, we had a pass interference call against us, which extended a drive. I don't think that was a legitimate call. With that being said, found a way to figure it out, found a way to get it done, and then found a way to come away with a victory.
And again, it was a complimentary game that your offense performed very well at times. Your defense was good most of the game, and your special teams, as you mentioned, Caden Williams was great. All three phases led to that victory.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, we needed every one of them. Lucas Lindano had 2 great punt returns. That was huge, or 2 great kickoff returns. That was huge. I thought our kickoff cover, for the most part, we tried about 3 different ways. Their return guy was very, very good. We were able to pin him a couple times. We were able to, get the ball down in there. So I really loved how, the entire team played, like you say.
And probably the thing that makes you the happiest, no turnovers.
Oh, that was huge. Created 2. We were +2 in the turnover category, as you say. That was a big plus for us. Going into the game, we felt like we could get some turnovers. They had caused 4 turnovers, I think, at Campbell. They had done the same thing earlier. I think they had gotten UMass on a couple. So to come away with 0 turnovers, huge opportunity for us.
And again, your freshman quarterback, he's not turning the ball over.
No, he's not. He's extending drives. I think you saw he's getting smarter. He's throwing the ball away a little earlier instead of getting hit and getting, putting himself in bad situations. So progressing the way we like.
And Al Wooten with the first 100-yard game of the season.
Yeah, that was, we've been waiting for, I think last week, Al showed up and kind of ran the way we'd hoped. I think he got 60, 65. This time, we gave him the workload. Really, he averaged pretty good. His average ends up being 4 yards a carry, but he had, I think, 4 or 5 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, where he got he got us the first. But he was popping some 8, 15-yarders in there too.
Yeah, and you were 8 of 17 on 3rd down conversion, so that's a very good percentage.
No, that was huge. We went into the game. We went 2 for 10 the last week against Youngstown, and really felt like we should have been 5 of 10. 5 of 10, I think, changes the game. We went into this game saying we got to be over 45%, got to give us a chance. So 8 of 17 worked out really well.
So the Tigers get to 1-0 in the CAA, and now we move on to the first home conference game as Elon comes to town, and they are a team exactly like you, 3-2,
Yep.
1-0 in the CAA. This is a good offense. They're averaging over 400 yards a game, and they're very balanced, 192 yards on the ground, 213 yards through the air.
Yeah, second best offense in the conference right now. We get the first ranked offense next week in Monmouth. But yeah, very talented quarterback, redshirt freshman, runs really well. They're very similar to what we saw in Youngstown State. So, they'll run the quarterback power. He'll throw the ball deep. He's got a couple wide receivers that he likes, physical running backs. Again, great test for our defense.
Well, and you look at the one running back, Jimmel Williams, who doesn't have I think he's 3rd in carry attempts.
Yep.
He's averaging 9.9 yards per carry, and they have 3 guys who have rushed for over 200 yards on the season.
Yeah, and he had 2 explosive plays last week, which got his average up there. I think he carried the ball like 12 times for 180 yards or something like that last week. So that obviously put him in a pretty good spot. Very balanced offense, big athletic offensive line. I think they do a great job with their outside zone scheme, their power scheme, that kind of thing. Again, great test for our defense.
Now, on the defensive side, Ishmael Atkins has 3 interceptions for them. Their defense has been able to cause turnovers. What else do they present to you guys?
Yeah, I think they're a very fundamentally sound group. They're really never out of position. They're always where they need to be, extremely well coached. You're going to see the ball thrown in the flat. They're going to break on the ball immediately. They don't give up many deep plays. I think they're always where they need to be. So we're going to have to do a great job of just assignment football, really, from a blocking, route combination standpoint, being where we need to be.
How are you health-wise now that we're basically midway through the season?
Yeah, we're a little banged up. We're more banged up than I'd like to be at this point in time. We're a little low at some numbers. We've had some guys down. You know, Rodney Roan didn't play last week. We're hoping to get him back.
Branson Peters filled in very well.
Branson Peters filled in well. He's a little banged up this week. We'll see what we can get out of him, you know, this game. You know, we were low on O-linemen. Our top three reserve tackles were out. We got Dan Volpe back last week. That was huge because he didn't play against Youngstown State. We got Shamir Boyd back last week. He didn't play against Youngstown State. But it seems like there's always a guy out. There's always a guy that's kind of banged up. So love to be further along than we are, but we are where we are.
All right, game time, 4 o'clock. Gordy and I will have it for you on Monumental Sports. But please come on out to Johnny Unitas Stadium this Saturday. Going to be a beautiful early evening in the fall. So we hope to see you there. For the head coach of the Tigers, Pete Shinnick, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Football Report.